All right, tonight on a Great American Panel, he is the editor of National Review. He's a syndicated columnist, Fox News contributor. Rich Lowry is here. He is the president, executive director of the New York Civil Rights Coalition. Mike Meyers is back. She, a columnist for Newsmax.com. By the way, a great edition coming out on Fox News. And the most powerful man in news, Roger Ailes. And the author of the book, Outnumbered, Jedediah Bila, is here. Guys, good to see you. All right. First of all, there was a New York magazine survey that was done. By the way, liberal magazine. It's not National Review, Rich. Anyway, more than 1/3, 34% of the protesters at Occupy Wall Street are convinced that the United States government is no better than Al-Qaeda. And another 37% say capitalism cannot be saved, is inherently immoral. Now, I want to roll some video as we get answers here. Jedediah, now I look at the video and I look at these comments and I'm thinking, okay, this is the modern Democratic Party. Yeah. This is Barack Obama, who he's supporting. This is who Nancy Pelosi is supporting.
Yeah, it's amazing how profoundly anti-American so much of the sentiment coming from there is. And you contrast that with the Tea Party, which is just pro-Constitution, pro-American. And you look at the media spin of both of those things. And you have these protesters down on Wall Street being revered. And you have the Tea Party being demonized. And you really have to think about the role that the media plays and all that and what that means for America.
By the way, a lot of celebrities are down there. For example, that's Russell Simmons, who's been on the show before. I guess that's Russell's Maybach. How much is that car? $500,000? All right, Russell Simmons, his net worth, according to Forbes, is $110 million. You have Kanye West down there. He earned $16 million last year. You got Jay-Z and Beyonce, and Kanye West apparently went on an expensive shopping spree after.
Well, first of all, I do not believe that the Wall Street protesters are anti-American in any way. They are expressing a point of view.
Wait a minute. This is a liberal survey that says...
Let me finish my point.
The U.S. government's...
They are expressing a point of view. I happen to disagree with their point of view, but that's what we do in America. We disagree. We protest. We demonstrate. Now, celebrities also run to the front of the line in order to come back on TV, like Michael Moore and Harry Belafonte and the others, because they want to have a sense of Daniel. They want to say, "Many, many, tackle the parson." This is the interpretation of the thing. God have numbered thy kingdom, thy days are numbered. That's what they want to say. That's their message. It's not the Wall Street protesters' message.
I don't call anybody un-American, but I'm saying
that's right.
When 34% of that group are convinced that America, this country, is no better than Al-Qaeda.
And you can go on a college campus and get the same sort of sentiment.
You get that an anti-American sentiment?
You might get it. You might get it among the professoriate class about the American position. It's not my point of view. It's not your point of view. It's their point of view.
Equating us with a terrorist organization is anti-American on its face. And, you know, I think the irony of Kanye West and Russell Simmons, Kanye West is a guy famous for having gold teeth, going down to this anti-Wall Street protest. If they really want to eat the rich, people like Russell Simmons and Kanye West should be breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
He sings gospel.
And of course, these people wouldn't be where they are today without capitalism. So they're there protesting the very thing that enabled them to be successful.
Let me put it up on the screen here, because we've got, let's look at the net worth here. Kanye, he earned an estimated $16 million in the past year, according to Forbes magazine. You got Russell Simmons, who we just saw on the screen. He, you know, is $110 million net worth. That was back in 2009. He's probably a lot richer. Susan Sarandon, $5 million just for, I guess, one movie.
Yeah, and they stopped by, and Susan Sarandon stops by in her limousine. You know, God bless them. They've made it in America. They are rich.
They're mad at them.
They are mad at them. Some of them wanted to speak, and they did not get to speak. I believe that everybody should be able to speak, but not at my protest and not at your protest. Let them have their own protest.
Did you see the Atlanta video? I believe it was Atlanta, where John Lewis was waiting for a 25-minute period, and they wouldn't let John Lewis speak. And I'm watching this because I lived in Atlanta. John Lewis, a brave front lines of the civil rights movement, you know, got hit with bricks in the process of fighting for what he believed in. Real hero. They don't let him speak. You know what my wife said to me? She goes, the reason they probably don't know who he is.
Yes, exactly.
Of course not.
Is that possible, Rich?
Yeah, one of my colleagues has spent a lot of time down there videotaping and talking to people. And he said he was down there, I believe it was yesterday, and one of the leaders, so to speak, of this group was standing there speaking, and someone said, do you support Nancy Pelosi? And she said, who? who's Nancy Pelosi? So these are not very sophisticated.
They don't know
people.
Russell Simmons
They're
either.
rude.
They don't know
There's
Russell
no
Simmons.
cohesive
All right,
message.
they know
Am I
J-Lo
wrong
and
when I
people
show
like
that video? Yes or no? Exit question to quote John McLaughlin. Am I right or wrong to say that is, and America will see that as Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi's party?
Sure, of course they will. It's a reflection of...
No, because those people are very angry with Barack Obama, and although they don't know her name, with Nancy Pelosi, because they don't like Congress either.
Will people see that as the Democratic Party? I believe they will.
They would not necessarily, except for the Democrats are foolishly, they can't help themselves, are embracing these people.
Which is going to come back to bite them.
It's what Ann Coulter said. They always rush to the front of the mob.
Is that what,
That's what Ann Coulter always says. That's the knee-jerk Democrat.
Coulter was right, except about, begging Chris Christie to
The name of the book is
Chris Christie's inhaler if he didn't run.
Didn't Chris Christie support and endorse Mitt Romney?
I think he did.
Uh-huh.
All right, we have a lot more with our great American panel. Straight ahead. To last night. Well, we started with you last time. Your reaction to last night's debate?
Well, Perry had to have a good night, and he didn't. He was confused, he was vague, he's repetitive, he was listless. And it's almost as if in the debates he's just given up, and he's realized Romney is going to beat him every time, and he might as well not fight, and he'll fight this campaign out differently with ads. Romney, the economic issues were in his wheelhouse. He's very good. Kane, for the first time, was a center of attention. I think did pretty well.
What do you think?
Well, look, Herman Cain, to me, reminds me of that fellow who ran for New York governor, and he had that mantra, the rent is too damn high. Well, Herman Cain, he keeps that mantra, 999. Hey, guess what, Herman Cain? 999 is too damn high. So I think that the whole debate yesterday was won by Mitt Romney because he was the most substantive. You got to have something more than mantra to become qualified to be president. If you're 35
it is interesting.
and the U.S. says you can run for president, they'll make you eligible, and you make you eligible, they'll make you qualified.
It is interesting as Pawlenty up, down, and out, Michelle Bachmann up and down, and Perry up and down, and now Herman Cain's up. The one constant is Romney, and I think he's gotten better in these debates.
That's right.
Romney is I have a column over at Newsmax today, and I say that Romney is a skilled debater. He understands the art of debate. He manages to not answer questions he doesn't want to. He walks around them. He's very good at that. The problem with Romney is his record, is Romney care, is political inconsistency. However, I think someone like Cain, for example, even though he stumbled a little bit on 999 in a couple of spots, because let's face it, he was really under attack, he has everyone and their mother right now out in the country looking up 999. I think he can come back and defend.
Cain has also stumbled in terms of having loaded rhetoric. Loaded rhetoric like the Democrat plantation. Why do you need that kind of language? Loaded rhetoric that is really divisive, like blacks have been brainwashed. You can say that blacks have been weaned on the Democratic politics, that blacks have been inculcated into liberal politics, but not brainwashed. It's that kind of loaded rhetoric that he's unseasoned and, in my judgment, immature.
But he's also soaring in the polls, and the question is, will he be able to maintain it? Because some people that have risen up have not maintained it. Newt's numbers have come up slowly. 4 or 5%. Now he's in double digits. I thought he had another good debate performance last night.
He's been fantastic in all these debates, and I think you're right, Sean. It's still a very volatile race, and you have this kind of free-floating conservative opinion that briefly was on Trump, and then it was on Bachmann, then it was on Perry, now it's on Cain, and the big question for Cain is whether it's sustainable, and we have a whole new level of scrutiny that's going to come on 999. It's not clear how well he's going to be able to defend it.
All right, with the next 100 days are obviously critical, or maybe less, depending on when some of these primaries, caucuses begin here. As you look at the candidates and you say, all right, well, they all have strengths and they all have weaknesses. You mentioned Romney.
Yeah.
You know, you could look at, well, Newt probably is past, and go through the list of candidates. You could find Rick Perry, it's immigration and HPV. But they all have strengths as well.
Yeah, they do.
So who balances their strength and weaknesses the best?
I thought an interesting person last night actually was Rick Santorum, and you compare that to Perry. Perry was given a pretty decent amount of time. He didn't do a lot with that time. If you look at Rick Santorum, he jumped in there, he pulled no punches.
I agree with you. He's
so I
pretty
think it's
good too.
really, and he has some fabulous things to say. I wish they would give him more time. So I think it's about being able to articulate that message and having a solid record, and we're going to see who has that great
balances
combination.
their strengths and weaknesses the best?
Well, Perry is lost at sea. I think Mitt Romney was the strongest person, and it was ironic to me that that Obama came out today and attacked him as a flip-flopper. Who's more of a flip-flopper than Obama?
Oh, that'll be, I'm sure, something else.
That's a great point.
Who balances strengths and weaknesses the best?
Well, I mean, Romney so far has presented himself as the most presidential, and the debate's been very helpful with him, to him in that regard. But
It's volatile.
It's still very volatile, and someone like Rick Santorum, he's doing well in the debates as well, and sitting in Des Moines just hoping to catch that gust in Iowa.
And don't count out Gingrich. He brings in a wealth of specificity to issues. I wouldn't count him out either.
All right, guys, great panel tonight, as always, and that's all the time we have left this evening. Let not your heart be troubled. Greta's next, and we'll see you tomorrow night.